While exploring an alleyway in Goodneighbor, you come upon a locked door.
Hey, you. Looking for work?
What kind of work?
It's good work. Under the supervision of the best boss you'll ever have. If you don't mind a little manual labor and don't ask too many questions, you're in. I'll give you 50 caps to start. Interested?
I'm in.
That's what I like to hear. Let's go inside. I'll give you the lowdown.
I wonder what kind of job this is. Curiosity gets the better of us. Bobbi No-Nose leads us downstairs, where she fills us in on the details.
Ready to get to work?
No, I followed you down here for the exercise.
Funny. Well, you'll get plenty of exercise here. You are gonna be doing some digging.
What are we digging for? Buried treasure?
You could call it that. But seriously, lay off the questions. The other two are down there digging already. Go give them a hand, will you?
Heading through the door to her left, we find a steep path that leads into the earth. This brings us to an underground tunnel where we find two men in hard hats hard at work.
Hey, I think we can finally get through.
Want to see what's on the other side?
Oh, yeah. You think Bobbi will pay us this week?
I don't know, man. Starting to feel like we're doing charity, but did you just hear something?
It's crawling with Mirelurks.
Bail!
Bobbi can take this job and shove it.
Good luck down there, new girl.
Mirelurks pop up from the depths and attack us. Incidentally, you can loot the Mirelurk eggs in this portion of the room without having any Mirelurk hatchlings pop out and get you. When done, Bobbi No-Nose comes down to find out what's going on.
What is going on in my tunnel?
That room was filled with Mirelurks. Why didn't you plan for this?
This was not expected, but that doesn't mean I don't have a plan. It's gonna take a lot more than a couple Mirelurks to stop me. Well, you stuck around at least. So I guess you're promoted. You get to be my new gun. I think we just need one more guy. An old friend. He'll want a fair cut, but we saw what being cheap got me.
That means less caps for me.
Yes, it does. There's still plenty to go around in that strong room. Don't you worry. First, I think it's best if you actually see what we're after. I have some things to check on in Diamond City. Head over to the noodle shop there, and I'll meet you when I finish up my business.
Before heading to Diamond City, you can climb up the stairs in Bobbi's house to find her terminal. You can hack this terminal to read a number of text entries. In the first note about recon, we learn that Bobbi No-Nose planted a spy with the raiders occupying the Massachusetts State House. The spy managed to steal a map of underground Boston from the raiders living there. The raiders didn't realize the importance of this map, and Bobbi says that she thinks raiders think too small. In the next note, we learned that the map was written up by a man named Sebastian Mullins just a few days before the bombs dropped, which means that it should be extremely accurate even after all this time. The city was building new subway tunnels beneath Boston that connected to the Goodneighbor area, but they didn't finish it before the bombs dropped. Still, with this map in hand, she knows where they are, and we can use those tunnels to navigate to the storeroom under Diamond City. She must have a beef with Mayor McDonough. She calls the man a bastard. Maybe it has something to do with her being a ghoul. In the final note, she rants about Hancock. Apparently, Hancock kind of gave her a hard time when he found out that she was hiring mercenaries and workers to help her with this big project. We get the impression that there's some sort of rivalry between the two. At least in her mind, she feels like she needs to show him up. And finally, we can use the safe control to steal from the nearby safe. Our task is to meet Bobbi in Diamond City. When we arrive, we find her disguised in a gas mask, sitting down at Power Noodles.
Bobbi.
There you are. Was wondering if you were gonna show up. Yes, it's me. I have to hide my face in these parts. People like me aren't allowed around here. Now let's get down to business. That big wall of glass looming over Diamond City is the mayor's office. Most people don't know it, but there's a strong room buried beneath. Mayor's just sitting on top of it. And that's our target. The guy has it coming if you ask me. With how he treats my kind, maybe he deserves worse.
What's inside?
Caps, meds, food. Enough to keep this city running. It's things we want. Things everyone wants. You get in on this, There's plenty for you. You got it? So, what do you say we make this party a little bigger? I managed to track down my tech guy. His name's Mel, and he is right here in Diamond City. The guy can make a gadget to solve any problem. Thing is, he's a bit locked up right now. You have to get him out of there. I can't just stroll into Diamond City security with this face, covered or not.
Tell me about this security office.
It's built into some old locker rooms, and it smells the part. This isn't a maximum security prison, and it isn't heavily guarded. No problem for someone like you, right? Pick a lock, find a key, bribe the guard. The usual stuff. Just get him out of there.
The security office is in the former lockers, here beneath the stadium. Inside we find a cage guarded by a number of Diamond City guards. We find our target Mel inside. Now there are a couple of ways to go about this. If you go around back, you find a gap through a wall where you can talk to Mel.
Mel?
Mel here. Can I help you?
Do you come here often?
Yeah, just come here to unwind. Nothing more relaxing than a sparsely furnished jail cell. So I'm guessing you're here because you need something from me. Totally unrelated, but I hear that there's an old glitched out Protectron unit back there. Guards asked me to take a look, but it was a real head scratcher. Couldn't do a thing.
He mentioned something about the Protectron, but I found this to be not very helpful. You can hack the terminal, and you see in the terminal a warning. The security guards here know that this Protectron is broken, and that he'll attack anyone on sight. Perhaps Mel wanted us to release this Protectron as a diversion, but I found that he attacked me and only me. He just followed me around attacking me. I never had an opportunity to unlock the cage without the guards turning hostile. If you do unlock the cage, the guards do turn hostile, forcing you to kill all of them. Not something I want to do if I want to remain on good terms with the Diamond City, so the next option is to sweet-talk the guard.
Why is Mel in here?
Him? He was caught trying to reprogram the robot bartender at the tap house to give him free drinks. Just between you and me, I would totally do that if I knew how.
We really only have two options. We can pay 300 caps to bribe the guard to let Mel out.
I'll give you 300 caps to let Mel out of there.
Keep your voice down, will ya? I shouldn't be doing this. But fine, if you need him that bad. All right, you're free to go, buddy.
Or we can choose one of two speech options to either intimidate or persuade the guard to release Mel.
You can let Mel out of here, or I will break him out. Your choice.
Hey, buddy, let's all calm down here. Just go ahead and let him out early.
Either way, once done, the guard will walk over and unlock the cage for you.
Let's just get out of here.
We find Mel waiting for us outside.
Thanks for getting me out, I guess. So, you're Bobby's new toy.
Yeah, this year's hottest gift. Get one before they're gone.
I don't really do the whole gift thing. That would require having friends or family. God, that woman doesn't have a patient bone in her body. I wasn't serving a life sentence here. What, she couldn't wait like a day? What's the job?
You've worked jobs with Bobbi before?
Enough to know she's not the most trustworthy person around. The team may change, but every job comes with the same set of cryptic instructions as the next. Yeah, you'd have better luck milking a rabid Yaogwai than getting a straight answer out of Bobbi.
How'd you like to help break into the Diamond City strong room?
Well, damn. That's a big score. Could be enough caps there to keep me going for a long time. Bobbi may be shady, but she always pays up in the end. So, I guess I'll get my stuff and head over to her place.
Sounds like Mel is in, and that he's done work for Bobbi in the past. Sounds like Bobbi wasn't just trying to hide information from us, she hides information from everyone. Does that mean there's nothing special about this project, or could it mean that she's still hiding a deeper secret? Back to the Big Dig site, we find Mel and Bobbi waiting for us.
Got yourself into trouble again, Mel?
What can I say? I learned from the best.
All right, we're all here. Mel, you want to introduce your little friend?
Yep. Meet Sonia. This little bot is going to help us move through the earth like a mole rat on jet.
Because a robot with no limbs is exactly what you want for your digging operation.
What did you expect? A Mr. Handy with a shovel? She's one of a kind. I modified her radio systems to emit sonic pulses at frequencies that can loosen any sediment around.
Mel says we'll be able to get to the strong room 10 times faster than just digging. And it's a hell of a lot safer than loading this place up with dynamite.
All right, guys, get ready. I'm not completely sure how this place will respond. So, brace yourselves. Sonia, do your thing.
So Mel made a robot named Sonia that can use sonic waves to blast through rock. As we go through the dig site, we'll tell Sonia which wall we think is weak enough to blast through. Passing through the newly created hole, we defeat some Mirelurks. In this room, we find a fusion reactor with a fusion core we can loot, a whole bunch of eggs, and brain fungus. There are 2 walls in this room. Let's choose the left wall first.
We need Sonia here.
Sonia, you know what to do.
Sonia comes through and blasts it down. And inside we realize we've hit a dead end.
I don't know about you, but this seems like a dead end to me. Let's see if we can backtrack and blast another path.
But this was a great room to get through. Inside we find a suit of power armor. Not a full suit, just 2 or 3 pieces, but it is leveled. My character's above level 50 and we found Exo 1 pieces. After looting the room, we can go back and Sonia blasts down the next wall. Inside we find a brick hallway with some steps and pipework above us, probably part of the pre-war sewer system of Boston. And here we find 4 different Mirelurks. We can shoot at them through the gaps in the wall to whittle them down before they come around and attack us. When done, Sonia can blow out the next wall at the end of this room. This leads us to the subway tunnels that we learned about in Bobbi's terminal.
Looks like a subway tunnel.
Then we're on the right track.
Ah, I see what you did there.
What? No. Just keep heading southwest. We need to find a place to blast out of these tunnels.
The subway car here was in service. We can open up the door and peer inside. We can't go very far, but we do find half a dozen skeletons. Walking down the tracks into the subway terminal, we find a whole lot of ghouls. Thankfully, both Mel and Bobbi are set to be invincible during this quest, because I found myself accidentally hitting them quite a lot. We were being swarmed by ghouls. It was hard to keep from hitting my allies. Like the power armor, these ghouls will level with you, so if you come at a higher level, you're going to be fighting some tough ghouls, including bloated and charred ghouls. Once the ghouls are dead, we can unlock an advanced lock terminal against the northern wall to open up a door, which leads to a room that has a small amount of containers we can loot. In one of the train cars, we find some blocks set up to spell the words Gary, an homage to Fallout 3, and on the platform we find a porta diner with a perfectly preserved pie inside.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that pie. I don't trust anything that looks that perfectly preserved after 200 years.
My thoughts exactly, Mel. My thoughts exactly. One of the nice things about this encounter is Bobbi and Mel will sometimes stop to have some flavor dialogue.
How come it's been so long since we worked together, Bobbi?
I've been trying to keep a low profile on this one, Mel. And I didn't want to get you wrapped up in it, unless I had to.
We've been through worse jobs than this.
We're not done yet, are we?
Encouraging.
Continuing north down the tracks, we come to another earthen wall for Sonia to come by and blast down. This opens up the tunnel leading to another platform. Inside, we find even more ghouls.
No flesh off my face, but you two might want to watch out for the radiation around here.
The thing on this one's wrist has a Geiger counter equipped. I'll just keep my ears open for clicks. I don't want to nerd out over it, but a Robco Pip-Boy is a rare find, my friend. You're gonna have to let me play with it later.
And an interesting scene with a skeleton beneath a tarp tent holding a Jangles the Moon Monkey. We find another earthen wall behind some crumbling concrete. This leads us into some sort of employee area. In this room, we find an expert-locked safe, and that's about it. Heading through the door to the catwalks, we find a bunch of ruined Mr. Handys, and of course, some more ghouls. Once we destroy all of the ghouls, Mel, the robotics expert, admires the pre-war technology.
Looks like this place was run by Mr. Handy units. Maybe I can fix one up and...
I think the one robot is enough, Mel.
All right. It wouldn't have taken long.
In one crumbling wall, we find 2 skeletons, a man and a woman in a wheelchair. Looks like the man was giving her flowers. That was a date that went horribly wrong. At the bottom, we find another wall that Sonia can destroy. Through it, we follow a cave that leads us to 2 different paths. Do we take the left path or the right? Left or right? Well, let's go down the right path for now. We can always retrace our steps later. The right path leads us to more of the Boston sewer. Here we can kill some Mirelurks and unlock an expert-locked security gate to get at yet another fusion core. We can then head through a pipe. This leads to a four-way junction, but both of the other directions have been filled in, so we'll continue forward. At the end, we kill more Mirelurks and then head up the catwalk to pass through a hole in the wall to find another fragile wall.
Over here, Mel.
Got it.
But this leads us back to the platform where we found the Porta Diner. We just did a big loop. Looks like we should have turned left, so we'll head all the way back and this time go down the correct passageway. This brings us to a room with a terminal. Thankfully, the terminal is not locked and we can use it to open the door. Looks like we're in the basement of a brewery.
We're getting really close. There's a brewery near our strong room. This has to be the basement of that brewery.
Brewery, you say?
Mel, no.
Just kidding. Jeez.
The ghouls must have been happy here sucking down beer for 200 years. They come up from the basement and swarm you, including a glowing one.
Ghoul, the bad ones. Feral ghouls.
After they're dealt with, we can hack a terminal on the wall to open a security gate. Inside is a duffel bag, an ammo crate, and a few other containers. Nothing terribly exciting. Passing down the hallway, we find lockers on either side and a broken ramp to the right leading up. And at the end of this hallway, we find an end-of-dungeon steamer trunk filled with all sorts of goodies. And next to this is another fragile wall. In the room beyond this, we find a skeleton on a sleeping bag next to some bobby pins and a dirty water, but otherwise it's a dead end. We have another fragile wall. However, activating the wall doesn't do anything. I did this a couple times before I figured out that I had to talk with Mel first.
If Bobby's directions are correct, and I have my doubts, the strong room should be right through there.
Doubts?
It just doesn't seem like we're under Diamond City, does it? I don't think Bobby's telling us everything about this job.
Sounds like Mel is having doubts. I wonder where Bobbi is really leading us. We can interrogate her for more information.
Of all the ways to make caps, why this?
It may be more personal than I let on. Let's just say I have beef with the mayor. Thinks he can keep Bobby no-nos on the sidelines. But forget all about that. We have a job to do.
You don't seem to have a very good reputation.
Look, I'm a ghoul woman with big ideas. There's no way I could get anything done without ruffling a few feathers.
So she admits to something personal, and she talks about being slighted. I thought from her terminal that this was all about some sort of revenge against Mayor McDonough, I presume since he is bigoted against ghouls. But I'm starting to get the vibe that maybe this has nothing to do with Mayor McDonough after all. Maybe the cause for Bobbi to go on this expedition comes from someplace closer to home. She's being tight-lipped, so the only thing left is to tear down this wall. On the other side, we find a large chamber with a solid cement ceiling. The storeroom is apparently directly above us.
Great. Now my socks are wet. Well, guys, we're right under the Diamond City strong room.
You sure this is the right place? I've been mapping it out, and I think Diamond City should be a little further north of here.
I don't have a doubt in my mind. How about a little trust for the boss?
Tell the truth, Bobbi. Where are we?
Under the Diamond City strong room. And that is the last time I'm saying it. We still need a way to get up there, though. Mel, you think your robot will work here?
Look at this place. The foundation is already crumbling. One blast from Sonia, and I bet the floor above will come right down.
Well, then make it so.
You won't want to be in the room for this collapsing foundation and all.
Good thinking.
All right, then. Everybody clear out. Sonia, prepare yourself for a blast at maximum power.
Racing out, we can wait in the other room until Sonia detonates.
Here we go. That didn't sound good. Hope Sonia's okay.
Now let's get up into that strong room, shall we?
When we come back in, we find that Sonia is destroyed.
Oh, no, Sonia!
Pull yourself together, Mel. We don't need that thing anymore anyway.
But
You can make another robot with the haul we get from the strong room. Keep your head in the game.
But the ceiling has collapsed, forming a ramp, and we can head up to find another big room. Not a lot in this room, but there's a door on the other side, which leads to the strong room.
Bobby, what are you doing here?
Shit.
You seriously didn't think Hancock would catch wind of your scheme? He took you in, Bobby. And you're stealing from him?
Don't listen to her.
What does this have to do with Hancock?
Yeah, about that. As Mel guessed, this isn't the Diamond City strong room.
I see the rest of you are in the dark about this. Nice no-nos. You all just broke into Hancock's storeroom. You know, Hancock, the mayor of Goodneighbor.
Damn it, Bobby.
Listen, guys, I know this isn't what you expected, but there are still a ton of caps on the line here. Help me take her out, and all of it is ours.
This is Hancock we're ripping off here. The guy tends to hold grudges.
Counteroffer. Just go back into your tunnel, and we can forget this ever happened. What do you say?
What is this about, Bobby? Why did you lie to us?
I knew no one in their right mind would help me rip off Hancock. Everyone is so damn afraid of him, is so damn in love with him. He thinks he is invincible. I wanted to show him he wasn't.
So Bobby has been lying to us this entire time. We weren't tunneling to Diamond City, we were tunneling to Hancock's secret storeroom. The mayor that she talked about in her terminal was not Mayor McDonough, but Mayor Hancock. All that talk about the way the mayor treats ghouls was just a ruse to misdirect Mel and the sole survivor. Well, we have three options depending on how we feel about this. We can decide that the deception is unforgivable, and we can turn on Bobby No-Nose.
You lied to us, Bobby. And you have to pay.
You can't do this to me. This isn't how this is supposed to go. Know what? Fine. More for me.
She becomes hostile and we're forced to kill her.
Pay for that.
Threat eliminated.
If we do, poor Mel walks away really frustrated.
I have to say, I'm not really cool with how this went down.
At least you and I made it through this.
Look, nothing against you, but one of the few friends I've had is dead. I wouldn't call that a success. Well, I'm out of here. Sorry for almost stealing from your boss, Miss Fahrenheit, ma'am.
The other option, if we have high enough charisma, is to convince her that she's outgunned and outmatched, and to tell her to stand down.
Come on, Bobby. At least if we leave now, we leave with our lives.
Well, shit, you're right. I'm not one to give up, but I know when I'm outmatched. Let's go.
Thank God. I don't know why I trusted you again, Bobby, but that was the last time.
You'll get over it. Now let's split before the girl changes her mind.
What a waste of time.
Choosing this option, Bobby and Mel will leave peacefully. Bobby disappears from the game forever. You never see her again. But Mel shows up again in a random encounter. I couldn't record it for this video, but I'll share it with you in the future when I come upon it. In that random encounter, he's not very happy, still rather upset at the way that things turned out, but he has rebuilt Sonia into Sonia Mark II. But choosing either of these two options has the same result. Fahrenheit will come on down and thank you.
You made the right move.
How did you find us?
If you think Hancock doesn't know about everything that happens in his territory, you're mistaken. You have to know you guys weren't exactly silent down there.
Bobby lied to us. I'm glad it shook out this way.
I was itching for a fight. But I guess this works too. Here, take this. A token for doing the right thing.
She gives us a legendary minigun called Ashmaker, which has the incendiary legendary effect. It sets targets on fire for 15 points of damage.
Hancock will be happy to hear about your loyalty. You should go pay your respects in person. It's best to stay on Hancock's good side. Trust me.
Looks like we need to trek to Goodneighbor to talk with Hancock. Heading out the door, we find that we're actually at the NH&M Freight Depot. This is where Hancock has been storing his goods. Back in Goodneighbor, we can go to the State House and we find Hancock waiting for us leaning against a wall.
Well, if it ain't Bobby's little patsy. Here, for protecting my stash. Wise decision putting Bobby down like that.
Bobby tricked me. She got what she deserved.
Yeah, that's usually how the story goes around here. Let me tell you, this classy little tri-corner hat of mine is getting heavy. Am I turning into the man? Some kind of tyrant? I spend all my time putting down the people I would have been
proud to scheme with just a few years ago. I need to take a walk again, get a grip on what really matters. Living free.
Can you just leave, Goodneighbor? Aren't you the mayor?
Hey, the mayor's still the mayor whether he's in residence or not. I've walked out of here plenty of times. Keeps me honest. Can't let power get to my head. That's not what being in charge of Goodneighbor is about.
Well, see you around, Hancock.
Yeah, you too. Gonna take some time to think about all this. You ever need a good-looking ghoul to watch your back, let me know.
Hey, Hancock.
Well, look who's back. You ever think about having an exquisitely handsome and deadly ghoul at your side?
Alright, say I take you with me. What's that look like?
I'm a man of the people, you know? I like getting out there and helping the little guy, and then stabbing anyone trying to keep them down. You already tried to knock over someone else's stash, so I know we see eye to eye on the getting your hands dirty part of life. So, what do you say?
Alright, Hancock, you're in.
Before we head out, I gotta have a little chat with the community. I'll meet you afterwards.
And this is how we get Hancock as a companion. We can tell him we want him to stay here, or we can choose to let him travel with us. If we take him on as a companion, he asks you to wait for just a moment. We can head outside with Hancock to the balcony to watch him address the crowd.
Hey, everybody, gather up. I got something you all need to hear. No rush, everyone just take your time. Look, everyone, I'm taking a walk. It's time for your fearless leader to get back out there. Mix it up in the dirt before I forget what that feels like.
You can't leave, Hancock. We need you.
Hey, I'm always gonna be here in spirit, my man. Goodneighbor and I, we got a connection. But like any hot and heavy relationship, sometimes you gotta spend time apart. Let things cool off. Remind yourself of who you are. So that's why I'm leaving. I'm still your mayor. I'm still gonna be here when you need me. But it's time for me to stop living so damn comfortable. Because we all know, no one in power deserves to be comfortable for long. Now, what's the best town in the Commonwealth? Where can someone live free, with no judgment? Goodneighbor! Of the people, for the people. And don't let no one forget it.
And with that, we can then go to Hancock and take him on as a companion. But there was one other option to this quest that we missed earlier, so let's go back to the warehouse. Instead of confronting Bobbi and punishing her, we can join her and finish the job.
I am going to see this through, Bobbi.
You won't regret this.
Might as well finish what we started.
Wrong move.
If we do, we have to kill Fahrenheit and the Triggerman goons she brought with her.
Let's go. The loot must be in that closed train car. Let's open it up.
Fahrenheit probably had the key. See if you can find it.
On her body is the key to the train car and the legendary weapon Ashbringer, so we get this weapon any way we choose to end the quest. Using the key, we can unlock the door to the car, and Bobbi asks to step in first.
Let me check it out first.
She goes right to a box of files and begins to rummage through them.
That's what I'm talking about. Gotta be tons of dirt on Hancock in here.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad we made it through all that alive.
And now you get paid for it. So quit your whining. And you, I couldn't have pulled this off without your help.
What's next for you?
Well, I can't really go back to Goodneighbor now, can I? I've been thinking of starting a settlement in Southie. And now that I have the caps, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be big.
No thanks to you.
I'm a supervisor, kid. I decide what information is need to know and what isn't. You want to complain? Or you want your caps? Here is your share. You done good, kid. Enjoy.
And with that, we get our share of the haul, and we can loot whatever else is in this train car. So let's see, what exactly does Hancock store here? Well, we can walk away with a whole bunch of mines and chems, 2 more fusion cores. That means we walk away with 4 fusion cores just by doing this quest. A whole lot of boxed food, and on the ground underneath a shelf, we find some blocks that spell out the name Hancock. Cute Hancock. We also find a couple of stealth boys and a Vault-Tec lunchbox. All right, nice job. Great haul. We're done, right? Well, no. The next time we arrive at Goodneighbor, we find Hancock waiting for us.
How you doing, killer? Arms tired from all that digging? You know, my strong room is surprisingly empty now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't play stupid with me. It's unattractive.
What? Not hiding behind your little pyro bodyguard. Oh, wait. You can't. Because I killed her.
Oh, the newcomer kills one of my people. Now you think you got the biggest stomping boots? Okay, let me lay it out for you. No one steals from me. But I gotta admit, you and Bobbi pulled one hell of a job. Almost makes me wish I had done it myself. Now, if it was just the money, I'd rough you up, break a few bones, and then we'd be square once you paid me back. But you killed Fahrenheit. That means blood for blood. Fortunately for you, I'm short on muscle, and Bobbi was the brains. You track her down, put a knife in her, and get back my, let's say, 1,000 caps, and we'll pretend this was all a misunderstanding.
Now, there is no option to refuse Hancock. We can try to barter him down, or we can agree to it.
Are you nuts? There's no way all that was worth 1,000 caps.
No, it wasn't. But you blowing a hole in my strong room and killing my bodyguard? You can bet that smooth little face of yours that made up the rest.
I'll take care of it.
That was the right answer.
But even if we say that we don't have time to run his errands, we still get the quest to confront Bobbi.
I don't have time to run your errands for you.
Oh, take all the time you want. But you got a debt hanging over you now. You feel me? I'll be waiting for you to pay up. Bobbi's smart, but not half as smart as she thinks she is. She's been having all her new tidings of wealth shipped to a building in South Boston. That's where you'll be heading. Now go.
Incidentally, word of our deed has passed to all of the Goodneighbor guards.
Holy scamoli! It ain't true, is it? You ripped off Hancock? What, you got a death wish or something?
They're surprised we had the audacity to steal from Hancock. But aside from that, there are really no other repercussions. The merchants all still sell to us, and so if we want, we can totally ignore this part of the quest. But if we want to complete it, we can travel south to the Hawthorne residence. This is an unmarked location south of Andrews Station, a big red regal-looking house. Inside, we see that Bobbi No-Nos has set up some decent defenses, a couple of machine gun turrets, and she sits on a yellow couch waiting for you.
Well, look who it is. Makes a ghoul a bit nervous, though, you showing up here unannounced. So who hired you to track me down? It was Hancock, wasn't it?
Who do you think sent me?
I assume you're here on behalf of that violent old ghoul. But I want to hear it from your lips.
What would you do in a situation like this?
Me? Well, I tried hiring someone with my newfound wealth to put a bullet in that tricorn-wearing clown. But every guy I spoke with was either on his take or just laughed in my face. At this point, though, all I want to know is what you're planning to do.
He wants me to kill you and bring back his caps, plus damages.
Aren't you, little mercenary? And what exactly are you planning to do?
Now, there are a couple of ways that we can deal with this. We can convince her to give up the rest of her caps and then to run. We'll tell Hancock that we killed her.
If you leave your caps and run, I'll take them to Hancock and say I put you down. No one has to die.
Alright, fine. Guess there's no point in hanging on to them if they're just gonna get me killed. I already spent a chunk of it, so you're gonna have to make up the difference. You're welcome to hawk whatever you can carry out of here. And listen, I appreciate you doing this the civilized way. I won't forget it, wherever the hell I end up.
Or we can stay true to our professional friendship with her and tell her not to worry about it, that we'll take care of things.
You don't have to worry. I'll figure out some way to make things right with Hancock.
Good. No need to resort to something stupid. But if I got found out this quick, I can't exactly stick around, now can I? And that means I need these caps more than you. But you can take whatever you want from this place. Don't expect I'll be able to bring any of it with me, wherever I'm going.
Choosing either of those two options keeps Bobbi alive, and we can go back to Hancock to complete this quest. Going back to Hancock, we can tell him the truth.
Well, hey there, Trouble. You got something to say to me?
I couldn't do it. I couldn't kill Bobbi.
Lost your nerve, huh? Well, then I guess you're gonna have to make it up to me.
Or we can lie and say that we killed her.
Things got a little messy, but Bobby's not going to be bothering anyone.
Good. I prefer messy.
His reaction is the same as if we had killed her, so let's go back and choose that third option with Bobbi.
Make your peace, Bobby. I'm taking those caps back.
You're gonna try.
If you do, she attacks with a submachine gun, and both of her machine gun turrets turn hostile. Once she's dead, you can find the rest of the caps from the haul on her corpse. You can also loot a duffel bag, an advanced locked safe, and an advanced locked wall safe for even more caps. Once done, we can go back to Hancock and tell him that we have killed Bobbi No-Nose.
Good. I prefer messy. Now, let's talk about my caps. You are on the hook for $1,000.
Now, Hancock really has no intention of taking the caps from you. You can choose any of these options and you get the same, albeit slightly different, result.
I'm not paying.
What? You thought I was serious? Far be it from me to keep hard-earned caps out of the people's hands.
Look, Bobby left behind a whole bunch of stuff. Just sell that.
Ah, look at you scrambling around. You're off the hook. Ain't like I need the money.
I'll pay, don't worry.
The look on your face. Forget the money. Chump change.
And just like if you had spared Fahrenheit and convinced Bobbi and Mel to leave, Hancock asks to travel with you.
Can we work something else out?
You read my mind. This thing with Bobbi had to be done, but damn, look at me. Have I turned into the man? Putting down people's freedom to do what comes natural? I gotta take a walk. Get back in touch with my fellow lowlifes. That's why I've decided I'm coming with you. Hitting my strong room proves you've got that devil-take-me attitude I need to reconnect with.
Why would you want to come with me when I helped kill your bodyguard?
Hell, I kill all kinds of people and shake hands with their friends afterwards. You know how many boys used to have old Finn's back? Now don't get me wrong. Fahrenheit and me had history. And if this was a personal hit, killing you would be priority number 1. But I know you were just trying to get a job done. I can respect that.
Now, why would you want to leave Goodneighbor?
For one, you pulled a job on me. That means I'm getting too comfortable. Need to get out there and hone the razor. For two, Goodneighbor is about doing your own thing. If I don't leave every once in a while, the power's gonna change me. I can't have that.
If you say yes, the encounter continues just as before. He goes out on the balcony and addresses the citizens of Goodneighbor. But if you say no, he gets a little salty.
You're not coming with me, Hancock.
Well, now, you do owe me one, remember? Here I was being all cool about you stealing from me, and you act like this? You're lucky I'm in kind of a transitional phase. You just come and see me when you've changed your mind.
And here he will wait until you're ready to accept him as a companion. Honestly, I'm surprised that Hancock reacted the way he did. After all, he's pretty ruthless when you first meet him. He kills Flynn, who tried to rough you up for money and threatened his authority. But when you steal from him and then kill his bodyguard Fahrenheit, and then even if you're rude to him and you refuse every opportunity he gives you to play nice with him, he still backs down. Maybe he's right when he says that he's losing his edge. Backing down is certainly the smart choice. Here you are in a full suit of power armor, and there he sits in his tricorn hat and frock coat. He's no match. Maybe he realized that. Maybe he was just being smart. Or maybe he needs to travel with you a little bit more to regain some of his former ruthlessness, to regain his lost edge. Whatever the reason, that is the story of Bobbi No-Nose and the Big Dig. And this is the first in a series of videos I'm going to be doing on Goodneighbor, culminating in a big profile piece on Hancock. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss those videos, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell button to get notified when I publish my new videos. I publish a new video every single day of the week. And I've got some new shirts in stock. Based on community feedback, I've got a new Liberty Prime design in the shop. So if you're interested, you can find a link to my shop in the description below. And if you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. Patreon subscribers get access to a private channel on my Discord server, as well as a bunch of other cool Oxhorn perks. But more than anything, ladies and gents, I'm just so glad you're watching this video today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, with a brand new video.
Don't forget to check your ammo levels.